Hello, this is Mr. Sarisa, and today we're going to just do an intro to section 10.7, which is plane curves and parametric equation. And what this is about are plane curves. These are curves that you've seen before. They're some of them might be like conic sections, where generally they follow certain rules, but they're not necessarily functions. And as a result, we're going to have to make parametric equations in order to describe them. And so these parametric equations are essentially a couple of equations which are for just the x and the y. So kind of like an ellipse travels around the origin sometimes and follows certain patterns for the x and the y. But if we try to make an equation out of it, like y equals something, we're not going to be able to do that. We might be able to make half of an ellipse. So what we do here, we take these points, x and y, and we make our own little functions out of them. So we might have x equals some f of t, and y equals some g of t. And then as a result, we just plot those f of t and g of t's as if they're xy coordinates, and then we come up with a curve that not necessarily is something that we could make as a function by themselves. So t is the input. So don't forget that. You're inputting a t and into both of those. So f of t, g of t, those are both inputs, and the t has some sort of interval that it must follow. So between some a and b. And so as a result, if we follow t from A to B, then t has direction or orientation. And so this will be apparent on when you do this on the graphing calculator. It goes in a certain order, and you can actually watch it draw it in the direction it's supposed to draw. So that takes some time doing or getting used to. But essentially, this is going from A to B. So let's go through an example. Let's just do this by hand so that you can see that how this unfolds. So let's say our x is going to be 3t squared, and our y is going to be 2t. And we're only going to do this for the interval of t being between -2 and 2. Okay? So if we're doing this all by hand, then we're just going to make a table first. So let's start with the table, and we'll have our t inputs. And as usual, I do this almost every time actually. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 are my inputs. And then we need to figure out what 3t squared will be, because that's our x. And we need to find out what 2t will be, because that's our y. So t squared is 4, so 3 times 4 is 12. -1 squared is 1, so times 3. 0, of course, will be 0. 1 will be 3, and 2 will be 12. And then 2t, we're just doubling everything, so -4, -2, 0, 2, 4. And what happens here when we figured all this out is we actually have the points x, y, and so that's 12, -4, 3, -2, 0, 0, 3, +2, and 12, 4. So those are all our points, and then we can graph this, and you'll see how that works out. So remember, we're going from -2 to 2, and it has a direction, so we'll show that direction with arrows once we have that. Oh, there's my dog, everybody's favorite. So 12, so let's go 2, 3, 4, let's say we're going by 3s. Make that a little easier. And then these 1, 2, 3, 4 will go by 1s here. And so 12, -4 will be here. 3, -2 there. 0, 0. and then 3, 2, and then 12, 4. And so we're going this direction all the way here. So we're following these directions going through. And so I'm just drawing little arrows on them just so you can see the direction that the graph went. So that's the orientation. Okay, I hope that this helped. Thanks.